Hello, everybody. We are here. Sorry, we were
Sorry.
chit-chatting, and then I looked
Yeah.
at the time, and I thought, "Ooh, better let everybody else
We
on
should
it."
invite everybody else into the chat. You've just got the dynamic duo tonight, unfortunately.
Yeah, Tiffany's still sick. She said she may show up in the chat, and I don't know if Tammy will pop on or if she's in the chats. I don't know, but yep, you got us. You're just gonna have to suffer.
Yep, just with the two of us. If you finish the book, we'll try our best to make it fun, you know.
Yeah. Yay!
Yay!
And so, what are you reading?
Well, speaking of finishing books, I finished 2 books today.
Oh, yay!
Yep. Yay! I finished reading Riding Shotgun by Barb Hahn, the second in the Cowboy Creek series, Cider Creek. It was really good. I liked it, but I thought the ending was a little abrupt. Like, it's like, oh, it's done now. Okay. You know, like, I feel like I needed more explanation.
I had a few of those. It's like, oh, it's over.
Yeah, oh, okay, then fine. I'm like, we still have not very much book left for, you know. And I finished Sprinkle with Murder by Jen McKinley. I thought it was cute. I did like it. I did start it on audio, but I finished it as an ebook. And I'm finding a little complaint. Cozy mystery narrators tend to always sound a lot older than the characters are supposed to be. I don't know why that's a thing, but it's
I think it just depends on who they pick, because like one of my favorites is Karen White, I think is her name.
I like Karen White, yes.
But her voice can make people sound a little bit older than what they are.
Oh, absolutely.
But I like her and stuff, and she does a lot of cozies and things, and it's like the same with like I think Callie Boyer. I like her, but I think her voice is a little older. And stuff like that. So I think it's the people they pick. And they're good narrators. It's just they kind of make them all sound a little bit older than
absolutely. So starting Cheddar Off Dead by Jen McKinley, by Karina Moss. So I got like half a chapter in while I was having my dinner. So I'm starting that tonight. So
my only problem with the cupcake thing right now is the relationship drama.
Oh, was there drama?
Yes.
Okay.
That's why I've only gotten to about like number 4. That's why I was like, maybe once you get to 5, you can push me.
Let me know what happens. Okay, fair enough. I will. I absolutely will.
I'm like, I need a push, like to read it with somebody or something. I need that push to read it.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, well, it gets better, you know. And it's just kind of like there is a little bit of relationship drama in mine, the Library of Lovers. It's probably about 3, 4 books. There is this little, you know, that drives me crazy. And I think it's because of that and stuff that I really got over, because that's my favorite series. And I absolutely love Sully. And so I was like, no, I don't need love triangles anymore. I don't need it. No.
Well, I'm going to be doing all 3 series. So let's see how.
Yeah. And I haven't done the hat one yet. I haven't tried that one. I need to try that.
And I've heard from a lot of people it's their least favorite.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. And so I'm curious because it's set in England and I like stuff like set in England.
Right. Me too. So I will report back when I get there. But yes, I am starting Cheddar Off Dead. I hope to finish it by Friday. Well, I hope to finish it in a few days because I'd still like to read the Carleen O'Connor before we get to the end of the month, the No Strangers Here.
Yes.
So.
And so I'll probably be editing on a video maybe tonight. I don't know. But if not, I could be reading Perry Mason or I'm really getting into The Secret Detective Agency by Helena Dixon. That I'm 51% into it now, and it's starting to pick up a little bit. So I'm like, oh, starting to get into that one. So on ebook. And what else do I have? Oh, did I say Small Favors? That's my audiobook by Jim Butcher.
Nice.
So yeah, I've got all kinds of stuff that I can be working on. I just don't know what it might be.
Excellent.
And let's see. Hello, Mary Jo says, happy Monday. Gonna try to stay awake. Took some cough medicine and it makes me tired. I didn't know that was a side effect of cough medicine. You know what? The other day, whenever some of you have watched my dailies, and I said I was so tired that I couldn't. I think it's because of the cough medicine that I had taken. It was a Coricidin or something like that. And I had taken little dribbles of it before because I'm like, this stuff is nasty. Well, that morning I decided to take like the whole actual dose, and I couldn't get out of bed. I couldn't function. And so I like looked up what's the side effects, and it says may cause drowsiness, and I was like, just wipe you out.
Yeah, they tell you not to operate a vehicle or heavy machinery when you're taking cough. But I know I was given cough syrup one time when I was much younger, like in my teens, and I couldn't get out of bed. And I'm like, what is in this? It was like codeine. They had codeine in it. And I'm like, oh, well, that will knock you for a loop.
And see, and my dad takes this stuff and doesn't affect him. Nothing, I swear, nothing affects him. He could take codeine and drive a car.
I mean,
Nothing affects him.
Yep.
And it's like me, I take something.
Right?
Because that's why he has a hard time, because they'll give him pain medicine and things. And he goes, my back still hurts. And I'm like, I don't know what to tell you.
It depends on your level of, tolerance and stuff, right?
And Mary Jo says, I'm still reading The 24th Hour by James Patterson, number 24 in the Women's Murder Club series.
Wonderful.
Awesome. And Kim says, hey, all, reading The Cat Who Went Underground and Eating Popcorn. That sounds good.
Approve of both of those things.
And I will say, hopefully my voice doesn't, I think to me, it sounds a little nasally still, but
you're fine.
Fine. And then I don't start coughing. Stop that.
Yeah.
Because it's like, maybe I should take cough medicine, but then I was like, no.
It'd be like you'll sound like Cairo.
I'll leave for the reading sprint and not come back.
You'll never come back. You'll be sleeping.
And Barbara says, good afternoon, friends. I have wonderful news. My foot is healing. Yay. I celebrated by buying a book. Okay, eating a TV dinner and reading before we say goodbye.
Wonderful. I'm so happy to hear that, Barbara.
Awesome, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And Esther Jane says, happy Monday. I am finished with my buddy Regal Storm. Yes, we finished.
Yay.
Murder on Wall Street, number 24 in the Gaslight series by Victoria Thompson. It was so good. And neither one of us could figure out exactly for sure who done it. It was a really good one. There were like several people. This person was not a nice person. And it's like, I can't figure it out. So, it was a really good one.
That's awesome.
And I'm just a little bummed that there only have 3 more left.
I know, right?
But it's like, it's not anything I can do about it. The author passed away. So.
Once you bored out. No, I'm just kidding.
And, and I don't think I'd want anybody else to do it either. Because, that was her baby. I think that's like the only thing I've ever known her like work on or whatever. So,
yeah.
She may have had a few other things, I think, but that was like her big thing. And Anita says, good evening tonight. I'm reading The Bookshop by the Bay by Pam Kelly and Murder, She Wrote, Gin and Dagger by Donald Bain. And that's like Gin and Dagger. That's number 1, ain't it? I think that's number 1.
I think so, yeah. No, you're starting right at the beginning.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure she's read other ones like in the series because she's one of those like you.
Like one of the weird people, like one of the rebels like me.
And Esther James says, I'm 75% into The Mangle Street Murders by Martin R.C. Kasajian.
I think so.
If I'm saying that right. And this is also good. Well, that's cool. I've never heard of that one. I have to look it up. Yeah. And she also says, Barbara, great news. Yep. And Cajun says, hi, everyone. I'm reading All You Need Is Love, the Cornish Cream Tea Summer number 1.
Cajun and her, little cozy romances.
Yeah, cute little
love
chicklets.
That's right.
And Caden said, Barbara, that is fantastic. Yeah, it's fantastic. Nadine says, hi, I'm reading Anatomy of a Murder by Robert Travers. Not a cozy. I'm reading this for my Novel Life Challenge. Really enjoyed the book so far. I'll watch the movie when I'm done reading it.
There you go.
I need to look that one up too.
Mm-hmm.
I have to go through the comments on my, on the reading sprint trying to find
right. Write all stuff down.
And Kim says, Barbara, that's wonderful news. Emily, lost in the library. Hello, Emily says, hello, everyone. Ready for some evening reading with y'all.
Wonderful.
Awesome. And Nadine says, Barbara, that's good news. And Annie says, Barbara, happy for you.
Mm-hmm.
And hello, Annie says, hi, all. I'm reading Sniffed Out Murder by Callie Benjamin. Sniffing Out. That one is a cute book. That's the one with the bloodhound on the front.
Okay.
It was cute. Hello, Kat says, happy Monday, friends. I'm reading A Secret Garden for middle grade March. Nice. Are you enjoying it? I wanted to try to get to that, but I never got to it. I've never read The Secret Garden. So.
I think I read it. But it was a long.
I've watched the movies. I've watched several different adaptations of the movie, and I don't like the movie. Well, I figure if I like the movie, that there could be a chance I'd like the book. I mean, I know they're always going to be a little bit different. Though.
I read The Little Princess by that author, but I don't think I read The Secret Garden.
And Purple Reinhardt says, hello, everyone, at the end of Fourth Wing at 70%.
Well done.
Dinner's lasagna, which was supposed to be for Sunday, but I didn't feel like cooking.
Feel you there. Mm-hmm.
And Milmac says, hi, everyone. I'm reading Rum and Choke by Sherry Harris, number 4 in the Chloe Jackson Sea Glass Saloon. Nice. I have only about 15 pages left, probably less than that, as you're reading this message.
Wonderful. Well done, Milmac.
One of the good things about being in the chat, you can still read and listen. As you
That's right. Absolutely. We can't, but you can.
Well, I know it's like, oh, if I was only in the chat.
Right.
Because I do that on other people's like reading sprints whenever I'm hanging out with them. I'm reading while they're chatting.
Oh, for sure.
And I pipe up every now and then if I have something to say.
If you hear something.
And the Mother Goose Library says, hello, I'm reading Strong Female Character by Fern Brady. Dinner was a homemade mac and cheese.
That sounds delicious.
And Esther Jane says, wasn't very hungry tonight, so just had cottage cheese for dinner.
Yum.
I love cottage cheese.
Me too.
My aunt's her husband has her doing carnivore diet and everything, trying to lose weight and everything.
My brother and sister-in-law are doing that too.
And stuff. And she's lost some and everything. She goes, I'm so tired of cottage cheese boiled eggs. And I said, that's why I said, I don't think I could do. I told her, I said, you need to be more of a ketovore. I said, I've seen those. They're the ones that 90% of what they eat is carnivore. And then they add some vegetables in there every now and then and stuff. Cause some people just like their veggies and they miss that kind of stuff. And that gives them a little bit added. And they've cheated now and then and all that stuff, but they try to mostly stay doing that. Like today, I mean, they met us at Hardee's and he had a biscuit and gravy. And I'm like, I don't think that's carnivore.
I don't recall it.
I don't remember that being on there.
Shh, quiet.
His excuse is that he only wants to be a certain weight and he doesn't want to go below it. So,
yes, of course.
While she still has a lot of weight to lose. So. And so I lost coffee mug. Lost.
You're right.
Lost. I can't read it if it's an O or an A.
Right.
And it says, hey, everyone, just getting to dinner, so I'll be a few minutes late. Talk to you all soon. All right.
Excellent.
And Crochet Mina says, getting my last book read for middle grade March. Mona Lisa Vanishes. Loving it. I've heard that's a really good one. I need to try it. Kat says, hi, everyone. I'm reading Borrowed Time by Elizabeth Spann Gregg, number 3 in the Village Library series. I'm enjoying the series and fits the cat. Cool.
Excellent.
Hi, Carmen says, hi, everyone. I'm reading The Elusive Mrs. Polifax this evening. Wow. I need to try that series. I have a whole bunch of the books. They're like really kind of ratty and old.
Okay.
And I have a whole bunch of them, and I'm like, I'm sure I can get it on audio and I don't have to like open my little ratty books. But
that's the problem. You don't want to wreck the books.
They're already pretty old. It's like, I don't know if I can read this. I can hold it up, but I don't know about reading it.
Right. Exactly.
Esther James said Cat Reads love that series.
Nice.
And Kat says to Crochet Mina, I love the Mona Lisa Vanishes. It was 5-star read for me. Awesome. Yeah, I need to try that one.
Mm-hmm.
And Emily's Excellent Epics says, hi, everyone. I'm working on cleaning my living room during the chatty bits. Awesome.
Excellent.
And Kim, I love Miss Polifax. Yeah, I've heard all kinds of good stuff about Miss Polifax.
Mm-hmm.
And Cajun says, Fitz is such a character. I love that he just knows who needs some attention or a cuddle. And Emily says, I finished A Kingdom of Claws this morning, a romantasy book. So now I'm working on the last
I think so.
For a book club and middle grade March on page 90 of 314. You just fly through that one because 314
Yeah,
pages.
that's nothing for you. You'll have that done by the end of the sprint.
That's like one thing about being the person that reads like a lot of huge books. When you get these small ones, it's like, oh, that was quick.
Well, Rebecca was almost 450, almost 500 pages, right? And then when I picked up Sprinkle for Murder, it was like 225 pages. I'm like, I'm done. That didn't take long.
Yeah. Like, oh, we're done. I like that.
Yeah.
And Carmen says, me too, Kim.
Yay.
And says, I'm rereading the series, Carmen, the Polifax.
Nice.
And Emily says to Barbara, glad to hear you are healing.
Mm-hmm.
And Carmen says, the chemist Polifax is new to me. She's such a hoot. And Kat Reed says, Esther Jane, I love the series too. I'm sad that it's been on my TBR for so long before I decided to try it. Happens a lot of times. And then you're like, why did I wait so long?
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
And Mary Jo says, good news to Barbara. And Kat Reed says, Cajun fits the cat, is the best. He really adds to the series.
Okay, I need to try this series.
You're going to have to try it. I was like, we're going to have all this cat talk. You're going to be like, okay.
Yes, I need the cat books. Give me the cat books.
And Kim says, Carmen, a friend's mother got me hooked in the 90s.
Nice.
Old facts. Come on, little computer. Do your thing. Esther Jane says, Kat reads, I finished it and I'm waiting for the next one.
Nice.
And Susan, hi, says, on chapter 6, Until Death Do Us Tart, a bake shop mystery. Awesome. And Emily says, hi to Stormy. And we'll do one more here. And Cajun says, Kat reads, she really writes pets well. The dog in the southern quilting and Paha in the myrtle clover all have such personalities and contribute to the stories.
Oh, thanks. Interesting. Okay, thanks.
That's good that she can write good
Mm-hmm.
good ones. And with that, we shall jump into a reading sprint because it's 25 after.
Sounds good.
And read to the top of the hour. So happy reading, everyone.
Happy reading.
So how did everybody do? Oh, stop that.
I got to chapter, I think 5 of Cheddar Elf Dead.
Cool. And are you liking it?
I'm liking it so far. Yeah, yeah. I like the cheese. I'm not a cheese person other than like cheddar. Like just give me cheddar or marble cheese. But I'm like, I'm intrigued.
Yeah. I liked a lot of the side characters. I didn't care for the main character quite so much. She kind of got annoying a little bit. I mean, she was okay, but she kind of got annoying. But I liked like Baz and the young guy that works with her in the shop.
Archie?
Yeah, Archie and the older lady. They were all really fun.
Yeah, I think that, yeah, it sounds like there's going to be some good characters. So we'll see how this goes. How'd you do?
That's why I was like, oh, I'm almost done. So we went like a minute over, but I was finishing up on my editing so that I could export it so that way I could upload it later. So I was like, I'm almost done.
Bonus.
Yes, I was editing my April pile of possibilities.
Excellent. Yes, I'm filming tomorrow. I'm going to be doing my, what do I call it now? My pile of priorities. Because I'm only like talking about the books I really want to get to, right?
Since it's old school April, I threw in like a whole bunch of things that would be fun to read, but I said I'm going to mood read pretty much through April.
Good for you.
So these were ones that there are certain ones that, yes, these have to be read. And then there were the other ones. And then like some rollovers. Some of my February books I didn't get to, like, I'm like, well, they'll count because almost anything counts for old school April.
Oh, yeah.
There's like romance prompts and mystery prompts.
Oh, fantastic.
And all those kind of things. And so anything that I don't finish, I can always roll over. And so I have a couple of my retro romances that I put to the side so I can bring them out. And
oh, wonderful.
And just some other things and some buddy reads and things like that. But yeah, and I have 4 books picked out for Amish in April.
Yeah, I got 4.
I'm like, I couldn't remember the dates. I'm like, I don't remember the dates, but I'm going to be reading them all month long.
Oh, yeah, no, it's the 18th through the 27th, but we'll be reading them all month long. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm like, if I save all these books to that, I won't get
Girl, I'm the same. I would not be getting them done. Nope.
So I'm not one of those. And one of them is number 5 in the Kate Burke holder. So I'm kind of excited to get back into that. Yeah, so it was number 5 like a hard one. Did you like? I don't remember.
I've gotten to number 5. Now you're asking me questions here, Storm. Which one is number 5? Hold on.
It was either number 4 or number 5 that I remember you were like, oh, it was a hard
there's
one.
One that was particularly difficult. Like listening to it on audio was really, really like intense. That's the word I'm looking for, was intense.
And all 4 of my books are audios. I was like, I need audiobooks to get me through.
I know. Whereas like I like the audio, but I'm the opposite because I read faster than I listen to audio. Yeah. It's weird. Number 4. What was number 5? No, I think it was number 4, which was the one with whatever one with the tornado. Maybe that was number 2.
I don't remember a tornado.
Did I get to number
6? It's been a few days since.
I think it was number 6 was the one that was really difficult.
There was a buggy accident that I thought
Number 7 was the one that was really intense to listen to on audio with the tornado. It's number 7.
Oh, okay. So I haven't got there yet.
But yeah, the one with the buggy accident.
That one was
cool. No, I'm looking at them on thingy now.
Yeah, I don't remember if that was number 4. I thought I read the buggy accident one, but maybe not.
Missing Child. Bear with.
I'm on Her Last Breath is the one that I'm on.
Yeah, that's no, it's number 5. It's number 5 with the buggy accident.
Oh, so I'm at the buggy accident then.
Yeah, it's a hard read at the beginning.
That's what I was gonna say. I remember there was one that you were like, that's a hard.
Yeah, it's a hard read at the beginning. That's one of the more brutal scenes that I've read.
Prepare myself for the buggy.
Yep, it's the children, and I'm not. It happens right in the first chapter, so it's not a spoiler. You know what I mean? But it's
I was like, I knew there was one with it, and I thought it was number 5, but I wasn't quite sure, and so yes.
Yep.
So, Kat said to Esther Jane, "Excellent. Hopefully, this series will go 25 books like your other series." Yeah, when you get a good one, it's like go, 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 and then sometimes it's like this is okay, but you could stop anytime now.
Yeah.
I've had some of those series.
We're talking to you, Hannah Swenson.
It's like time to wrap it up now.
Right.
And any of those that are going like 60 books in, it's like,
Yeah,
I think they're trying to catch up with those 80s and 90s action hero books or whatever that there's
the ones that Ollie reads.
Yeah. And I've got some of them too, and like I've those Mac Bolan ones. I have a whole bunch.
Yes.
I'm like, I'm never gonna get them all collected, but I'm trying to collect at least the first like so many,
right?
Or whatever. But there's because there's spin-off ones too, and if you put them all together, there's like 600 books or whatever. And
I know.
There's no way that's gonna take up half my library. There will be a point to where I will have to just be happy with, okay, I've got this one, I'll read it, but I'm trying to read them in order.
I know you are. I know you. I know you very well.
It's like, if I'm going to get up to a certain point, I'm just going to be like, face it, I'm not going to be collecting them all probably. So.
Well, it's like I've trained Garrett now because when we went to the thrift store on Saturday, he was like crouched right down looking through all the category romance, and he was looking for the old ones. He's like, look at this one. It's number 700. And I'm like, yoink.
You got him looking for this is an artsy cover. Look,
yeah. Or he'll pull ones with like good titles.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I'll say to him, like, I'll have 4 and you need 5. Like you get 4 and you get 1 for free, right? And I'm like, pick one. I always say gentleman's choice. Yeah. So he did that on Saturday, and I think it was called Cinderella Honky Tonk, and he literally picked it because of the title. I'm like, yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah. Hi, Sonia says, hello, friends. Reading The Clue is Blue, #1 of the Connie Blair mysteries. I knew Storm would like it. I started with #1. Yes. Yay!
Storm approves.
Boy, I got called out on the lost coffee mug or whatever. She was like,
"Oh, did you?
Your ear, Stormy."
We all know you.
So I put a in the comments, and she goes, "I told you to hold your ears." And Anita says, "Storm, how are you feeling?" I am feeling better. I would say 90% better. I'm not quite all the way there, but I'm getting close.
You're getting there. Yeah.
I'd be closer if somebody would let me sleep in, but yeah, no, yet he texted me and he's like, "Can we go to the shooting range tomorrow?" And I go, "Can I sleep in?" I don't want to be there at like 7:00 in the morning.
Oh, good Lord. No.
And because it's like, this is my day to sleep in. Can I sleep in? Well, I thought we might go around 8.
And? That's what I would have replied. And?
Okay. Well, he wants because he likes to reload and things. That's like his little hobby. And so he wants to go looking to see if anybody shot brass, and there's brass to pick up. So yeah, I get to bend over and pick up and go, can't breathe because I'm bending over trying to pick all this stuff. Yay, it's gonna be a fun morning. And then we went to the store, and he didn't mention that we needed coffee. So we have no coffee. So I'm gonna start my morning out with no coffee, and I have to go.
Inappropriate.
It's not gonna be a fun morning.
No. I'd be like, I'm not doing nothing until I get coffee.
And Emily says, I also got some crumble cookies today, debating between having the Biscoff cake or the pineapple whipped cookie for dessert later.
I saw this week's, and the only one that really jumped out at me was the peanut butter one.
Oh, that sounds good.
Mm-hmm. Last week's, they had like the fruit, like the Fruity Pebbles one, and I didn't get them because we just didn't have the money because they're expensive, like. And
it's probably better off if they don't sound good to you, so then you don't.
Right, then I don't buy them. So like it's helping all around.
Yeah. That's like they're talking about no bake cookies, and my aunt and her husband like came to coffee this morning. They rarely do. And she was talking about, I said, yeah, I said, somebody loves to make no-bake cookies, but never does she ever give any to her niece. It's like my favorite cookie ever. She's like, doody-doody-doo. It's like, yeah, mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And it's probably mostly because Ron eats them all, her husband.
Yeah.
Why I
Yeah.
never
See, that's
diabetic.
I love to bake. I really, really love to bake, but we don't have an oven, so I can't bake.
I bake in our air fryer, but it's kind of a pain in the butt because you have to watch it and stuff. Because like I do my pumpkin cookies during like the holidays and everything.
Yes.
And I've got it down to a science now, and I've got it written down on paper and stuff, so I know what to set them on, and they usually come out pretty decent.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, it's kind of a pain to have when you've not done it before and you have to try starting. It's like trying to do frozen pizza in the air fryer too.
Oh yeah, Garrett mastered that one, and I now figured out how to do chicken pot pie in the air fryer.
Oh yeah, and we've done those.
Turns out really good.
Yeah.
So the air fryer is quite good for a lot of things too, right? Mm-hmm. It's great for warming up pizza.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just a pain, and I like having my oven. Sorry.
Yeah, I miss having the oven. Well, and it's because you can cook bigger quantities of things too. Because like when I do my cookies, I have like this little bitty tray and then a smaller tray, and so I'm like, I could cook so many more cookies at once and get done quicker. But now it's like, yeah.
We were talking about that, saying once we get back out on our own, I said like I can make cookies, and like because we buy like that's our treat. We buy cookies, and I'm like I would rather make them than buy store bought. They're better for you. That's my theory. Less preservatives.
Well, yeah, you know what's going into them too. So,
exactly.
And stop.
You're fine. If you need me to jump in, you just let me know.
So it's like if I get to laughing too much or anything like that.
Yeah.
And Kat said, Cajun, I remember that you said you enjoyed her other series too. Good to know about the other cozy companions. I will try the series out too.
Good.
And then Cajun says, Emily, I got some this weekend, but they didn't have those flavors.
I think they switched the flavors on Mondays, Cajun. So like every week they have new, but they start on a Monday.
I'm just glad we don't have anything like that around here because, then I don't have to worry. Less calories that I have to calculate on my little calculator.
My God. They were delicious, but good Lord.
And I mean, my addiction right now is the Snickers pecan.
Ooh.
It's so good.
Ooh.
And it comes in like with the two little ones. I said, boy, this is downgrade. You get two little ones now instead of like a whole. You get these two little ones. But it's 200 calories per little bar.
Wow. Okay.
And stuff. And so I cut it not quite in half so that Dad can have some. And that cuts out some carbs for him and sugar. And cuts out some calories for me.
Yes.
And so it works. And it's like, I don't get them all the time, but they are really yummy.
We were going through the drive-thru at Tim Hortons today, and they were showing on the billboard or the whatever, that the thing, they have their like Easter mugs out, right? And I made that comment to Garrett, and he goes, he says the Cadbury Easter egg donuts will be back soon because they bring them out every year. It's just like a vanilla donut with like sprinkles, and then they put the Cadbury mini eggs in it, right? And then they sell them. And I'm like, ooh, I love those so much. My addiction is Cadbury mini eggs.
I haven't had a Cadbury egg in forever.
And I love like the ones with like the cream. The cream Cadbury eggs.
I haven't had one of those in a long time, but I remember those were a big thing whenever I was little. I was like, yummy.
They are pure sugar.
Yes, they are. And see, that's, a good excuse for old school April. You can get a Cadbury egg, and it's like, this is what I had when I was a kid. So
that's right. Yeah, exactly. There you go.
That's what I was like. I just said use the activity prompts, eating something that,
eating something nostalgic. Yep.
Yep. Yeah, it gives me an excuse. And so Cajun says, I like the Hat Shop, but not the other two. Well, I only read the first of each, and that was years ago.
Oh, fair enough.
And see, and I think in both of those, you have to get farther into the series to really start to enjoy them a lot. The first one, I know a lot of people didn't thought the first one in the Library of Lovers was okay. Well, I liked it, but a lot of them thought it was okay. But the more they read it, the more it was like, oh, this is like really good and stuff.
Yeah, it picks up, right? Because
sometimes that first book just doesn't really.
It's more your introduction to the world and to the characters and to the, you know.
Yeah. Stop freezing up. I seen
I know.
it.
It's like, don't mess up on me.
Yeah. And Nadine says the Jen McKinley Cupcake series is my least favorite of the 3 she had. I like
really?
the Library of Lovers and the Hat Shops.
Interesting.
And hi, Pat says, good evening. I am reading Littered with Trouble by Aaron Scott. I'm 35%. I've been having headaches all day today.
Oh, no.
Changing the weather yesterday in the 60s and today high 70s.
Mm-hmm.
We had pretty decent weather today, but we have some storms coming later on this week. That's the only thing I don't like about spring. I love that the warm weather is coming back, but then it's like storms.
Allergy and storm season. Yep.
And Pat says, don't forget to hit the thumbs up. Thank you, Pat. Emily says, I have asthma and allergies, and Robitussin does not knock me out. Well, that's good that it doesn't like knock you out. So if you need to take it or whatever.
You can, yeah.
NyQuil Night is what I take when I can't sleep. And Alicia says, hi, Storm and Sarah. Hello. And Cajun says, I can't take prescription cough medicine because the all have codeine. I'm allergic to codeine. I have hallucinations to the point of having to be restrained. Wow.
Yeah, regular over-the-counter cough syrup, I have been told by my cardiologist, really doesn't do anything. It just coats your throat enough to let you. Same with like Halts. It's just, you know, she said really it's no different than having like a hard candy. You know what I mean?
Well, and it's like, you know, like the Luden's cough drops. Dad's like, well, I need some of these. I said, that all it is candy.
Precisely.
Cherry candies. Like,
wow. I ended up
I used to love those when I was a kid. I was like, I want those cough drops. And my mom was always like, it's just candy.
It's just candy. Because I ended up in emergency before I went into heart failure. I ended up in emergency. It was when all this started, and I was in arrhythmia, and I said that I had taken cough syrup, and my doctor rolled her eyes at me, and she goes, "That does nothing." She says, "Unless it's prescription, it does nothing." You know, so don't worry about it. Basically, is what she was saying.
Well, the stuff that Dad has is like over the counter, but I don't know if there's just something in it or whatever, but I was just like, ugh.
Oh, no, it makes you drowsy. But I'm saying, like, in terms of, like, she said, like, helping your cough and stuff, it's more just a soothing thing. Yeah. Right? So, yeah.
And so, and Emily said it doesn't affect her because she's had to take so much cough medicine.
Well, that's the same with me with a lot of painkillers because I've been on so many high-dose painkillers that you develop.
Like taking ibuprofen, it really doesn't do anything because I take a lot of it.
And that's why I say, like, now I've been cut down to only being able to take Tylenol extra strength. I'm like, are you kidding me? I was on ketamine. I was on fentanyl. Here, have some Tylenol.
And Daniel says, finished 2 books in the last 2 days. One is To Make All Things New by, is it Carly Porter? I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. And the other is The Right Attitude to Reign by Alexander McCall Smith. Tonight, I will be reading The Crazy Lives.
Excellent.
Here it is. Tonight, I'll be reading The Crazy Lives of Book People by Phaedra Patrick. That's cool.
Excellent.
And yay, she's read. We don't have Tiffany's not here with all the fun
stuff. I'll do the happy dance.
And if confetti wasn't so much to clean up, see, I could.
Yes, we'd have those little. I should go out and get like some streamers or something just to shake if Tiffany's not here.
Yeah, we need like little pom poms or something.
Yeah.
And Anita says that's great news to borrow.
Absolutely.
And that's the one I read. Moving down. Come on. Do your thing. Here we go. Yeah. And hi, Robin says, hi, lady. Hi, all. And Emily Lost in the Library said, Sarah, I plan to read Cheddar Off Dead once I'm done with my current read. Only have 2.5 hours left of my ebook.
Nice. Because Tiffany's interviewing her at the end of the week, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's when the discussion's going to be?
Yes, hopefully, if all goes planned. Because, I mean,
right?
she's supposed to, isn't it Wednesday she's doing? Is it Wednesday or Thursday that's Diane Kelly? So I'm like, I hope.
Yeah.
Because she said tonight she still didn't have a voice. So.
Uh-oh. That must be killing her, too.
Kevin's probably like, yay.
Yeah. We love you, Tiffany.
Yes,
if you're watching.
And Robin says, I don't know what I want to eat tonight. I've started several
I'm thinking
books.
maybe she means read.
Yeah, I know. I was like, I hope you're not eating the books, but yeah, she probably means read. And I have started several books, which is not like me.
How about those are two problems, though, because I don't know what I feel like snacking on either tonight. So I feel you.
Yeah. And I told Dad, I said, we're having something easy tonight. I have to do the live thing. So
yep.
I'm like, we had little fish patty things and French fries.
Oh, I had leftover spaghetti.
Stick those babies in the air fryer and boom. So it's like
absolutely. Absolutely.
And Anissa, I'm definitely a rebel reading books out of order. Yes, you are. Hi, Rachel says, hi, Storm. Hope you're having a wonderful day. I am having a pretty good one, despite this nasty junk. And Robin says, I have Karen Slaughter. I have Karen Rose. Although they don't come out until August, I really love those authors. I've also started an international romance and a psychological thriller. Well, you do have a lot of things.
Yeah, you've got a lot of choice.
That is. So, and Rachel says, who's reading Secret Garden? Kat from Cat's All Adventure, I think, is reading that one. And FHB is one of my favorite authors, so that must be the initials of the. I don't know what.
Frances Hodgson Burnett.
Oh, okay. That sounds familiar anyway. And Kat says, Tori, this is my first time reading Secret Garden, and I'm liking it more since Mary is not being quite so contrary.
Oh, that's cute.
So one of those that you have to get past her being kind of aggravating. And the Crochet Mina says The Secret Garden is an all-time favorite. Fabulous classic. I will have to give it a try. I feel like a bad middle grade reader too when I haven't read a lot of these like middle grade classics either.
Right.
You know, things.
Yeah.
Because like I've never read like Peter Pan or any of those.
I mean, I've read Alice in Wonderland.
The Jungle Book. I haven't read any of them. I've read Alice in Wonderland. I did not like it. I thought Alice was annoying.
It's my favorite movie, like Disney movie, not the redone piece of garbage by Tim Burton.
Yeah, the cartoon.
Yeah, no, the original cartoon. But I've also read the Little Princess.
I've not read.
But I've never read like The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. I've never read Harry Potter. I've never, like.
At least I've read Harry Potter. But
there you go. You're one up on me, my dear.
But yeah, a lot of those like old school ones I've not read, so I'm like, I'm a bad middle grade.
Well, you know why? Because back when I was in school, the nerds read those, and I wasn't one of those nerds. I read the cool stuff.
I think my problem was that I was reading more adult things whenever I was like 11 and 12 and stuff, because I didn't really think about the classic stuff. And they didn't really have a lot of stuff for middle graders, really.
Not like they do now.
Stuff, like they do now. And so I was reading like Stephen King at 12. So, it's like.
Whereas I went right from like the Babysitter's Club to like PC Andrews, yeah.
And Cajun says, I like the cottage cheese doubles that have the fruit as well as the plain. Yeah. I'm not big with, I don't know. For some reason, fruit doesn't belong with anything except for by itself or yogurt.
I concur.
I don't like it in cottage cheese. I don't like it in chicken. I don't like it in
it doesn't belong in a salad.
Pineapple
does go on a pizza. I will die on that hill.
Pineapple don't go on a pizza.
Let's polarize the chat.
And Rachel says, "Oh, hey, Kat. Glad you're liking the secret garden. Let me know what you think at the end." And I will, Rachel. And Annie says, "I'm warming chicken nuggets for dinner." There we go.
Chicken nugget kind of night.
And the never-ending TBR with Kristen's Corner says, "Hey, ladies. Hello." Barbara says, "Thank y'all for support. Means the world to me. When they changed the bandages, I did cry when they said it was healing. This has been a long, hard road." I bet,
yes, my dear.
And that's like you're holding your breath probably. That breath you're not supposed to be holding, all that stuff.
God, I hate that for you. Breath I didn't know I was holding.
Because you're hoping when they unraveled it, they were going to say, "Oh, it's healing," instead of, "Oh no, we're going to have to," So yeah, it's probably a big load of just
right. Absolute relief.
And Hermione says, "Hi everyone. I'm currently reading A Lady's Gamble by Anne R. Bailey, book number 4 in the Royal Court series about Elizabeth Seymour, Jane Seymour's sister, Henry's third wife. Enjoying it so far."
Nice.
And Lost Coffee Mug. "Hey everyone, finally arrived. Going to read Death by Dumpling."
Yay!
Yes, I got the whole series, I think, at the store I seen or whatever. So,
fantastic!
I hope you like it because you got the whole thing now.
I shouldn't say that. I hope you will. It's one of my favorites.
Yeah, she's enjoying that one, I think. So
good.
I figure if you enjoy the first one, most likely you're gonna enjoy like the rest of the series.
Yep, I agree.
I mean, there could be that one that's kind of a dud, but that happens.
There usually is within a series. Yeah.
And Anissa got to 33%. And Pat says, "Going to tell y'all good night. Take meds for my headache. It's making me sleepy. Happy reading.
Happy
Goodbye,
reading, Pat.
Hope your headache goes away soon." And next is Evening All, 52 pages into Gunpowder Green by Laura Childs, and 72% into Four Leaf Cleaver by Maddie Davis.
Part of the Country Store series, I think.
It sounds like it could be something like that. Mm-hmm. And Last Coffee Mug says, "Have a good night, Pat."
Yeah.
And Ivory Sarah was thinking that with the narrators of Four Leaf Cleaver about the age thing.
Yeah.
And good night, Pat. And to Kay Simons, thanks for the Christmas card.
Yes.
Thanks for my Christmas card too, because I got it the other day. I got a card and Dad chuckled. I said, "Oh, my Christmas card arrived," and he was laughing. And I was like, "Hey, take my Christmas cards anytime I want now."
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't matter.
And Last Coffee Mug says, "I got a chapter read in Death by Dumpling." That's cool.
Nice.
And read 85%, so I'll probably finish the book tonight if I can stay awake long enough. You can do it, Esther Jane. Mm-hmm. And Mary Jo is 196 of 356. Getting there. Mm-hmm. Saying hello. And Barbara, that sense of relief is huge, and I think the tears are just a natural reaction. Yeah.
It is, and it's funny that you don't. I was thinking about this the other day because I was watching something, and it was about a week or two after my transplant, and I was actually getting ready to go home. And the doctors and I were talking, and she says, "Have you heard your heart yet?" And I said, "No." So she took off her stethoscope and she put it in my ears, and she held it to my chest so I could hear it, and I burst into tears. The weirdest, you don't think you're going to cry at something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I just started sobbing. So, we don't know what we're going to be emotional over, but I'm so happy to hear about that for you, Barb.
Mm-hmm. And Kat said she's made it to 200 or 298, got 95 pages to go. Would love to finish tonight. Yeah, you can do it. 29 pages, and great job, Esther Jane. Yes. Mm-hmm. And we should probably do a reading sprint because it's 7:30, and so I think we will. We'll do a short one because we'll just go to like 50 and do that one.
That's perfect. Sounds good to me.
And look, and it's all set up, so I must have did that last time. Usually I have to edit it and put like either the 00 back or the 50. So happy reading, everyone.
Happy reading.
So how'd everybody do?
I have a cat in my lap. I actually did. What the hell's happening with my hair? I didn't get any reading done because I was looking at something on Facebook, and I belong to a group for transplant recipients at Toronto General for heart transplant. Anyway, they posted a thing saying that in November they're giving lots of time. They're doing a craft and bake sale. They do one every year, and the money goes to support research into heart transplant. So they're calling all crafters, and I'm like, oh my God, I've got a ton of time and nothing to do. So I was looking online, and I found some really cute patterns for like little mini sweaters to make into Christmas ornaments. So I thought I might try my hand and knit some of these things over the next few months and donate them to sell at the craft fair. Might be kind of fun.
That would be fun, yeah.
So that's what I was looking at. I fell down the rabbit hole of looking at knitting patterns, basically. And I may have found a toy Grinch that you can knit. That was a free pattern that I may try my hand at.
That would be cool.
And if he turns out well, he may have to get sent down south.
And I worked on the secret detective agency, and I got to 52%. So I didn't get a whole lot. I think I was on 51. Now I'm on 52. But
a little bit of reading is reading.
Yeah, I chose that one over Perry Mason because the font was bigger. It's like I need a big font right now.
Oh, speaking of, so do you want a sneak peek at my little book haul? Like just 3 of the really old ones that Garrett found. So I posted this one on Instagram.
Oh, that's cool.
This is now the oldest one in my collection. Number 422.
Cool. Now, is it like an actual one or reprint or?
It's a reprint. It was originally published in 58, and this is from 68.
Which is still
published in 48. This is from 58.
Which is still like extremely old anyway. Yeah.
Right?
That's cool.
And then this is an original, The Black Cameron by Jean S. McLeod.
Oh, I have read a Jean S. McLeod.
$7.97.
I have a copy of one of her books. It's in the classic library.
I love it. Inside, somebody wrote their initials and they wrote good.
I like it when I was like, well, that's confidence. All right.
That's right. Yes.
That one might be pretty good then. You know?
And I think the same lady wrote this one because it also says good. And this is number 1803, and it's a family affair. Charlotte Lamb.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, Garrett found these. See, he knows now. He looks for these like spines with the, or he looks for like the red.
You got him trained.
He's a good little helper.
There you go. That's cool.
Yeah. I thought you'd
like it when I find some of those old ones out in the wild because it doesn't happen very often. I see a lot of them like on eBay and things like that. I know that's like where Tammy, I think, gets a lot of hers.
Exactly.
And I'm one of those that I'm like, I know if I was to say, oh, I know it's like $30, but if you say, it's only a couple bucks a piece or whatever it is, but still it's like, oh, $30.
Well, I got lucky because I got a bunch of stuff and it was only like $1 a piece. So I'm really happy about that. So It was a good sale.
Yeah, I'm wanting to go back to the Finicky Fox because that's where I find a lot of really good stuff. And a lot of their stuff is like 50 and 75 cents. And a lot of times I can find some like really old stuff. Like the most I think I've ever paid for anything, there's like $2.
Yeah.
But most of it's usually on the lower end. And that's when I come back with like 45 books or whatever. Right? And I have like the giant like calls or whatever. But I only get to go there like maybe twice a year or something. So yeah, I always come away with like a huge pile.
Oh, wow.
I save my monies up and then it's like, okay, it's time to go to Finicky Fox.
I know years and years ago, I was in my very early 20s. I just started reading Harlequin, and we went to a wedding a few towns over, close to the border. And we had time before the wedding, and we noticed in this little hole-in-the-wall secondhand bookstore. And I went in, and stuff was piled on the floor. It was one of those places where it was a mess. Mm-hmm. But all the category romance Harlequin were all in one area in the back. They were 10 cents a piece.
That's I almost like lost Sonia gets hers or whatever. It's like
my dad's like, we need to go to the wedding. We don't have. I'm like, no, you don't understand. Leave me here. Tell them I wish the bride and groom well. I'll show up for dinner.
Yeah. One of my pet peeves when I go to those places like that is where you look, because everybody has their booths and everything, and you
Right?
look and they've got stuff piled on top of piles on top of piles on top of stuff.
Yes.
And I'm like, how is anybody supposed to buy anything in your booth?
Right.
I'm not digging. There might be a prize in there, but I'm not digging.
No. And we have one of those places around us now called Vintage Vendors or something like that. So I said to Garrett, we passed it on the weekend. I said, I want to go back there and I want to take a walk around because he just likes looking at old stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it'd be a fun walk around.
I like to look at the old stuff, and then it's like, my eyes, like, Dad's always like, well, you know what I like, so look out for it. I said, my eyes are on books. They're not looking for
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
He's like, I know, you're just looking at books. I was like,
well, you know me well.
But because he's always nice. He's like, there's books over there.
Yeah.
But I can't, I'm like, because he looks for like reloading things and all that kind of, and I'm like, I wouldn't know what that stuff looked like by a glance, because a lot of times when you're in those, you're just glancing.
Oh, that's it. Yeah. There's so much stuff to look at.
Yeah.
Come on up, Presley.
And Rachel says, I got a bit of reading done. Reading Me Ever After?
I think so.
One of 38 books I got free because they were getting thrown out. And I was like, run, let me have them. Let me save them. Yeah.
I agree. Save the books.
Man, Jake from Pope Mortem got like super lucky. He's like a vintage sci-fi guy. And like there was like an estate was getting rid of like a whole bunch of books. They were just going to throw them away. And he found out about it, and they're like, well, you can have them. So he got all these, like 70 boxes of books, like for free.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. He had like several book hauls on his channel, and he gave, if some of his friends wanted to pay, like, I think ship them a bunch of books and things.
Well, shipping for you guys down there is nothing.
Yeah. And so they got to like, pick out books, and he still had some that he took to have like a book place, turned them in for credit, and got more books that he wanted from them.
Dude,
and yeah, he had like a huge, it's like, you are so lucky.
Right?
And the fact that they were all like mostly like vintage sci-fi and
oh,
like,
that's awesome.
books and things like that was pretty cool.
That's very cool.
Fun watching the book haul. I just like to, even though I don't like read that kind of stuff really, the covers.
It's like I said that to Garrett because I was looking at some other books, or I was watching somebody, and he goes, "You don't read this stuff." I said, "But look at those." It was Michael K. Vaughan, and I'm like, "Look at the covers of those." He goes, "No," he goes, "That's when covers were good, you know."
Yeah, just like these covers are cool.
Yep,
it's like it's got these weird aliens on there, but the cover's still cool.
I know it is. It's like look at like how cool is that? You don't see that now, you know?
Yeah. And everybody's rooting for Kat. She can do it. Oh, Melmax finished A Rum and Choke by Sherry Harris, number 4 in the Chloe Jackson Sea Glass Saloon. That also completes the series, unfortunately. Next, I'm going to continue reading The Rise of Magics by Nora Roberts.
Cool. Excellent.
Hi, Angel says, hi, everyone. I got 20% of Rebecca on audiobook.
Yay! Are you enjoying
I have started it, but I'm confused.
Why are you confused?
I don't get it. I'm like, what is she talking about? I'm confused. So I'm like, maybe I need to start over.
Where are you right now? Do you know?
I don't. The lady's talking about Manderley or whatever. Like she's
the house.
Thinking about like.
So it starts out that she's remembering it, and then it moves to Monte Carlo, and she's a companion to this lady. It's hard because you're never told the narrator's name.
Yeah, and I think that's something that's kind of like it, but let's see. It'll probably start. Hush. I'm only 4% in.
Oh, so you're still okay. You're still right at the very beginning. Yeah.
So she's just talking, and I'm like, what is she talking about? She's just
at the very beginning, she's remembering Manderley, which is a house. The house.
Okay. So yeah, I haven't gotten very far into it. And I felt like I listened to it forever, and I'm only 4%.
I hate to say it, it's a long book.
Yeah, because it's like 15 hours, and I'm like,
yeah,
really?
It's 15 hours.
It's 4%. I thought I was going to tell you it was like 10%, and I was like, really, 4%? Okay. Well, maybe I didn't listen to as much as I thought I did.
You're hilarious.
And so a Lost Coffee Mug says, "Yay, congrats, Melmac." And Mother Goose says, "Not feeling great, so I think I will listen and read instead of chiming in." Oh, that's fine. And Emily says, I was working a little bit, but I did get one chapter, Murder at the Movies by Ellie Alexander, in on audio. Cool.
Excellent.
Melmac saying thank you to Lost Coffee. So, and I hope you feel better soon, Mother Goose. Yes. And Cajun was also saying, hope you feel better to Mother Goose. And Emily says, I'm taking a break from readathons in April after doing Get a Clue last month and readathons this month. Yeah. The one thing I like about old school April, though, is I feel like I don't really have to work really hard because, like, all the books pretty much, no matter what you read, there's going to be a prompt that fits in.
Sure. Well, that makes sense. Absolutely.
And it's not, and it's a team one, but we're not like very competitive. I mean, you might, harass your, other people, but they're not very competitive. So it's like,
no.
If you read a book, you read a book. If you don't, you don't. And
absolutely. And yeah, I think after April, I agree with you, Emily. I'm going to be like taking a break until probably August.
I'm trying to think. It's like after April, I have a middle grade May. But I mean, it's middle grade books, so
it's just read middle grade books, which is fine, And that's the thing, like even March Mystery Madness isn't that difficult. It's like just read mysteries,
And that's because it's like, well, I'm just reading what I always read anyway. So
pretty much, yeah. This is not a hardship.
Yeah, I think, and then May, June, and then there's I'm going to, and it's like there's June on the Range, and I'll probably like read one Western, and then I'm like, that's my June on the Range, and other than that, I don't know what else is in June.
June, I don't know.
All I know is June on the Range.
Yeah, July is our we'll do the 1 week.
So I'm thinking June will probably be my I'm just gonna do whatever and then fit one Western in for June on the Range.
To be a rebel, I'll read a cowboy romance just to piss some people off.
Yeah. Yeah, and I could do that too. I'd be like, oh, it kind of fits,
Yeah, it does. There's cowboys in it. It's on the range.
Everybody's congratulating Melmac. Yay. Skip over some of what people got to. And Barbara says, I have a funny story about Sarah. Many years ago, she had a channel called The Canadian Knitter. In the background, she had a bookcase, and one book stood out to me by Edward Rutherford.
Yep.
I thought, she is good people.
Yep. I did, and I had a couple of the Princess of Ireland. That was an epic book. Historical fiction.
I was gonna say, is he like the big kind of?
It's a 2-part book. The Princess of Ireland and then The Rebels of Ireland is the sequel, and it's literally 2,000 pages tracing the history of Ireland from the dawn of man.
So kind of like that James. What is it, James something?
James A. Michener.
Yeah, there's Texas and all them.
Because I've read Hawaii, I've read Alaska.
Yeah.
I
so
like
kind of in the vein of that kind of thing.
But that's the kind of stuff to me you need on audio because it can be really dry.
Yeah,
it's not really adventurous.
Well, it's like the 1976 big book that I had picked out was Trinity by Leon Uris, I think it is, and it's kind of an epic Ireland thing, but that was also one that is I kind of want the actual book, even though I'd probably like to listen to it on audio, but it's 800 and some pages, and I'm I feel like I need both and everything, so I'm I have to find something else for 1976. So that was on my novel life challenge as the big book, but
yep.
I have my little book I'm working on, but I don't have a big book. Darn. Oh,
darn.
And Cajun it's actually laughing at Melmac. And Emily says, doesn't Edward Rutherford write chunky books? Epics, you might say.
I also have Paris by him and London by him that I haven't gotten to yet.
Nadine says, I gave Her Last Breath 5 stars.
Mm-hmm.
Then the Kiss, the Kate Burkholder. Yeah, I've enjoyed like all the ones that I've read, but yeah, they're really gritty.
Mm-hmm.
I just love that series. Number 17 is coming out in July.
I know, and she's got all she's got novellas too in there.
Yeah, I know. I've noticed that, and I have read one like a novella, and I don't normally do the novella.
No, you're not a novella reader.
But I have read like I think there was one before number 5. It was a novella, and I noticed that it's like almost every other one, or something. There's like a novella.
Yeah, she writes a lot of them. So
I'm like, maybe I need to, read the novellas because you never know.
Well, and that's what makes me laugh about you. And I mean, not in a bad way, but I'm just saying, like, because you're such an in-series reader.
Yeah.
But you skip the novellas.
Because, like, a lot of times they're not really anything. But then there are some series that they are something and you have to read them. But, like, the Amish Candy Shop, I don't like them because they're just about little side characters or and they're not really mysteries or whatever.
I mean, they're cute and fun, but you're absolutely right. Yes. Yes. Yeah.
But then there could be like this series where they're actually mysteries and you need to because it kind of gives a little character growth or whatever. Because there's like even the Jim Butcher, the Dresden Files. Like my friend was saying, like there's a whole bunch of and I'm like, well, I do know that before or after one book, I think it's the ghost stories or something. Everybody had said there was a novella that you had to read like some short stories, like a deal of them, and I have read them. So I told her we'll have to read that, because she's like, okay, because she's like seeing all these, and I'm like, I do know there's one because there is one that connects to like the next story. And
okay.
And so like we'll have to read.
Yeah, I noticed for one of the ones I'm going to be reading, Murder Plain and Simple. I think the not Laura Bradford, the Isabella Allen, the Amanda Flower, the other, right? There's a novella that comes before the first book. And I was reading, like, what is it about? And it's like, there's a murder that takes place. I'm like, damn it, I guess I need to read this. Luckily, the library has it, so I'll just borrow it.
Yeah. And Emily says, I was up at 5 today while I was so early on spring break. Because when you have to manage migraines, you can't sleep in. Constant sleep schedule is key.
Yes, ma'am.
It's a bummer. Oh, no coffee. I know.
Unacceptable.
Coffee, yeah, I know. And Nadine says, I keep a little jar of instant coffee as my emergency coffees. Yeah, I may need to do that.
I'm picturing her going, oh my God, break glass in case of emergency.
Where's the key? I can't find the key. Yeah, I have 0 counter space for cooking and baking is a pain. Yeah. Hi, Christina says, hi, Stormy. Hi, Sarah. Working on a blanket and reading That's Not My Name by Megan Lally.
Ooh, I've got that on my list to read at some point. Kay, are you enjoying it?
And Christina says to pause to hydrate, snack, tell us what it is because we're nosy, check the laundry, take meds, stretch, show some love to your like button, and make sure you sub and ring that bell so hopefully you get notified.
I'm taking my meds.
Barbara says, Storm, I will make you no-bake cookies. Warning, I do not put coconut in them because that is wrong. I don't think I've ever
intended it.
I don't think I've ever had them with coconut, so I think I'm okay with that. I just thought they were like peanut butter, chocolate, and oatmeal. So I don't put coconut in mine. So I'm okay. And Lost Coffee saying hi to Christina. Says, we only have a toaster oven right now, but we can bake muffins and biscuits in it. So hey, that's important stuff right there. Cajun says, when genres cross in my head, in my book, they are talking about an actor that is coming to the area that played murder on a show. It's like, oh, do I have a cozy mystery now?
Right, yeah.
And Cage says, I'm thinking, oh, I bet he's gonna, oh, no, wait, Chicklet. No, he's just cute. Yeah. And he says, Storm, I feel your pain. I also have a lingering cough. It just won't go away. Yeah, that's the thing. It's
that cough lasts a while.
Emily says, I don't think I've ever had Cadbury eggs. The creamiest didn't appeal to me.
Oh, that's the best part. I know they're not.
It's like this thin little layer of chocolate, and then the whole thing's cream. So it's
ours are thicker, and I don't know if your McDonald's has them, but at this time of year, the McFlurries we get a Cadbury cream egg McFlurry.
I don't think we've ever had a Cadbury egg McFlurry.
So they break it up and put it in the.
That is cool. I don't think we've ever had one of those. Mm-hmm. Not the times that I worked, unless it's something like completely new.
It's within the last 5 years or so. So
well, then they could, because I worked.
Yeah.
And Meg says to Emily, there are Cadbury eggs this time of year that have chocolate inside instead of cream. I like your new channel name.
Yeah. Yeah, they have the Cadbury cream eggs, which are the bigger ones, right? And then they have the mini eggs, which are like.
And now I feel like Reese's has like big eggs too now.
Yes, yes, and they have like the peanut butter or whatever inside.
Yeah, and so I'm like, now that's my kind of thing right there.
Yeah, right.
And it was cute because they're like in a little egg thing, just sitting there, like 6 of them or whatever.
Yep. Yeah, Garrett and I were wandering through the Easter aisle looking at all the stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very tempting. It's like, oh, I want, but I can't have it.
I know. I got my Walmart chocolate bunny.
And Meg says, I hope you feel better to Mother Goose. And Cajun says, la, 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 not listening to Cadbury with chocolate inside. La, la, la. Oh, where do you find those? Yeah, I know. That's like, don't tell us there's ones with chocolate.
Do you guys not have these in the States?
We may have the mini eggs. They're like just the little ones that are just all chocolate, or
yeah, they're all chocolate with a candy coating.
Yeah, I think we have those.
Yeah.
But I guess when I think of Cadbury, I don't think of like the little bitty ones. I always think of the big ones with the cream inside. Too.
Yeah, that's fair.
And hi, Brenda says, hey y'all, I'm listening to Nosferatu by Joe Hill, about 40% in. Pretty good so far. I'm glad you're enjoying that. And Meg said the Cajun, you can find them at Walmart in the Easter section. Not helping, Meg, not helping.
No, very much helping.
See, she says, thank you, my enabling friend.
Our work here is done.
And Nadine says, Emily, I've seen caramel Cadburys.
Yes.
But what would that be better than the cream eggs?
They have, I'm sure you guys must have them down there. They have a bag that you can get, and it's got mini cream eggs. So they're like just little ones with the cream inside. And then they've also got ones with caramel and something else. I think like a cookies and cream.
And I've seen Snicker ones, and I've seen,
they have all these.
It seems like everybody's trying to get on the ball with like the little eggs and things.
That's
like
right.
That. But the Cadbury is the original. So
Cadbury's the best, and their chocolate is the tastiest, in my opinion.
It is pretty tasty. Yeah. Mary Jo says, I read The Secret Garden when I was a kid. I loved it. Nice. Emily says, Alice in Wonderland in all forms is fantastic.
It's one of my favorite books.
The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe is my absolute favorite book. See, I need to read it.
Yep, I've never read it.
And Emily says, I'm not a big fan of caramel either, so that didn't help. And I read Gone with the Wind in the 8th grade. See, that's that's kind of a big, chunky,
That's she started her epic books at a young age.
Yes, she did. Great. And Carmen says, oh, so I resemble the nerd remark.
I'm sorry. I was only, but like when you're young, that's what you think, right?
Yeah. Well, see, whenever I was in high school, I was made fun of all the time because I used to read a lot of true crime. And so I would always have a true crime on top of all my books. And they're like, you're weird. And I'm like, I know.
Yeah. And?
Okay. And whenever I was in like middle school up in like upper junior high or whatever it is, we used to have reading day and you'd hold up what you were reading in the class and I'd get made fun of because I'd have a wrestling magazine. And
well, one of my best friends growing up, we don't talk anymore. We haven't talked in 20 years, but her mother was a teacher and we would be like hanging out in the summer and I'd be reading like, I don't know, Nancy Drew or something. Right. And her mother would be like, just like in the Babysitters Club, like to Claudia, you should read something more worthwhile. like The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. And I think that's where the nerd thing came for me. Like, oh, that's a nerd book, like.
Yeah. And Rachel says, I adore Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe. And calling me out here. Carmen says, Storm, you have a lot of choices for old school April. All those classic children's books you haven't read yet. Just saying.
Just saying. ...
Yes, I do. I have a lot of choices.
Well, I think the thing also with Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe is that I'm not a big fantasy type reader.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's more of a mystical kind of a fantasy kind of a story.
And see, like, I watched the movie that came out and I liked the movie. So I'm like, I could potentially like the book if I give it a try, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And Rachel said to Kat, you might like The Dark Hills Divided if you enjoy C.S. Lewis and Frances Hodgson Burnett.
Nice.
And Kat says, oh, thanks for the rec, Rachel. And Christina says, you are most welcome. Barbara, Stormy, Sarah, did you get yours too?
Yes, thank you, yes. Thank you. Loved so much.
Yes. It was a lot. I liked it. And Lost Coffee Mug says, you're right, Stormy. I got a good chunk of the series this weekend. I'm really enjoying the books now. And Christina says, I'm just happy to know that they got to you. Yeah.
Nice.
And Jill says, hey, ladies, joining late. That's fine. Got my latest book box from Brenda Novak, and this month is Patty Callahan. Callahan. That Henry's the story she left behind.
Nice.
Cool. I have read a few Brenda Novaks, but I haven't read too many of hers.
Mm-hmm.
And Meg says, hi, Jill. I want to read that book at some point. And Kim says, just woke up. Emily says, I had snack, cheese and apple, and read a chapter.
Nice.
And other Emily said, I grabbed a snack too, Emily. Made PB toast. Oh, that's a good one.
Yum.
And Lost Smoke says, I read 3 more chapters and on page 169. Cool.
Nice.
And Mary Jo is at 208 of 356. You're getting closer. Angela, I can do this. Angel, I can read. I only got chapter 8 in the book audio.
Nice.
79%. Read about 11 pages of Gunpowder Green.
Excellent.
And Emily's at 128 of 314. 15% of Murder, She Wrote, Jen and Dagger. And that's a great idea, Sarah.
For the little, yeah. I just keep thinking I'm going to make these and be like, I don't want to give them up now.
That is a neat idea, yeah. You have to make a couple for yourself. And then
that's right. I'm going to have to make some for me and then some for,
Yeah. And, you get the ones that you practice until you get them really good. And those little practice ones can be on your tree.
They had a really cute one, and it was a garland, right? So that you'd but it was all of Santa's clothes. So you do his pants and his hat and his little jacket. And so it's like, it's all hung up to yeah. I'm like, how cute is that?
Like his little linens are hung up there.
Like, Mummy Claus is hanging up his clothes.
Yep. They got to dry out too.
Right?
And I love the ideas. And,
thank you.
Kat says it made it to 218, 81 pages to go. Ooh, getting closer. Jill says, read a chapter in my new book, The Story She Left Behind, the Patty Callahan Henry. Excellent. And Emily says, I read a couple chapters in that sprint. And good idea, Sarah.
Thank you.
And thanks for the sprints. I hope everyone has a blessed week. Be safe and good night.
You as well.
And Jill says, I just got the book box from Bernardo back this afternoon. Cool. Mm-hmm. And Carmen says, made it 20%. And Emily says, Charlotte Lamb, I read her a lot in college and post-college. I have quite a few of her books, but I haven't read her yet.
She is extremely prolific.
Yeah. And I feel like, like some of those, I need to go through mine, and like the ones that I have like several books of, I should do like, reading this one and just reading a bunch of their books or whatever, and do like a reading vlog, reading just a bunch of them. Because I know I have quite a few Charlotte Lamb.
Well, I know I was talking to Elizabeth about the Armush in April over on Voxer last week. And we were talking about the fact that I was doing like 2 authors that 1 month for old school April, or for retro romance, and I need to bring that back. But I need to go through my books and see who are prolific, because I don't just want to pick some author that they've written 2 books. Do you know what I mean? So Charlotte Lamb would be a great one. Maybe I'll do that one for May.
Yeah.
You know, have an old school author and a more modern author at the same time.
Yeah, that kind of hits both audiences too, because like there are some, like Tammy, she likes to read a lot of the older ones, and
Elizabeth's other suggestion was to have one chili pepper author and a cupcake author. So like a spicy author and a non-spicy author, which would be fun too.
Yeah, that would
maybe next year. That'll be the plan.
Okay, Emily says thanks for the sprint and have a great night, everyone. And good night, everyone, and have a great night. And Rebecca is an average length book.
Gee.
Are you getting the eye roll thing here?
Yeah.
Well, I need to mail back some eye roll.
Thanks, Emily.
Good night, Noah. And the love June on the Range. Yeah. I don't read a lot of Westerns. And the thing is the first time I participated in June on the Range, I'm like, I'm going to read the Sackett books by Louis L'Amour. That's a very, I've heard of Sackett's. I've watched their Sackett movies and stuff. And the first 2 aren't even Westerns. They're like adventure novels.
So you need Adventure April, and then you need to get into June on the Range.
There is Spring into Adventure starts in April.
There you go.
So I've read the first Sackett. So the second Sackett I'm going to read in April for Spring into Adventure and everything, so that by the time June gets here, because I'm like, hopefully the third one is a Western, but the second one, it has a guy who looks like a Robin Hood on the cover. He's got bow and arrow, and he's got the little Robin Hood hat. I'm like,
I'm picturing a horse now in the range. His bow and arrow.
It's like, that is not, But then I didn't know that Louis L'Amour wrote adventure novels until I got a little bind up of his short stories, and they were adventure stories. And I was like,
really?
I didn't know he wrote adventure stories.
Interesting. That's funny.
Yeah, I'm just starting to slowly try to get into Westerns. I used to watch Westerns with my dad, so I'm like, man, it'd be just like watching them, except you're reading them. So I'm like,
my biggest thing into Westerns, I mean, I joke about cowboy romance, but in all reality, it's more like the historical Westerns, like the Harlequin historical Western ones that they used to do. Those I like. Yeah, the frontier books and stuff like that. Yeah.
And Jane Austen July. Yeah, I always forget about Jane Austen July. Because it's like, that's pretty retro. I don't know why I don't ever think about Jane Austen whenever we're doing like,
I'll be doing Jane Austen all next year, so I'm not going to worry about it this July.
Oh, yeah, because you're doing that with B or whatever.
Yeah.
I need to join like her Discord, I guess.
Her Discord is delightful.
I'm sure it's probably a lot of fun. Kat said Old School April is the easiest event to participate in because everything you read, watch, or do can count. The prompts are so flexible. Yeah, I know. That's why I like it, because I'm like, I feel like I'm participating in something fun, but I'm not saying out about it either. So, and Karen says to Kat, I picked up 3 books in your announcement video today. Awesome. Mm-hmm. And yeah, we brought Carmen with us. She's our buddy reader, and so we're bringing her into Old School April with us.
Nice.
And everything. And so I did mention Kat, so hopefully you remember, because I did mention in my pile of possibilities the 4th book in the J.P. Beaumont series, so that we could all buddy read that one. It's like, I think I'm reading this anyway, so I had it on there. And Mary Jo says, just ran downstairs and got chocolate chip cookies and a piece of marble pound cake.
Yum.
And where's mine?
Right? Did you not bring it up for the class?
Yeah. And I did like it, Sarah, what Christina said. So, and Oreo has eggs now. See, everybody has eggs.
Yep.
And it's commercialism. Everybody's got to get
100%.
Meg says, "Hey Jen, you're so welcome. Happy to enable your love of chocolate."
Chocolate is wonderful.
And I read Alice Adventures in Wonderland for the first time this March, and I loved it. It's pure nonsense. Yeah.
Did you also read Through the Looking Glass?
I never got that far. I read the first one and I don't like Alice.
Because the movie, like the Disney movie, is actually based off of both books combined.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
See, and I think I may have only watched the Disney movie maybe once.
Yeah, I used to watch it all the time. To the point where in school one year, I recited The Walrus and the Carpenter, the poem, from memory.
Wow.
I could probably still do it now if you got me started.
You know, it's funny how everybody has like their favorite Disney movie, like cartoon.
Right?
I love Cinderella. That was always my favorite. Gus,
Yep.
like Gus, he's always
Yep.
fun. My brother loved Robin Hood. That was his favorite.
Oh, the fox Robin Hood.
Mhm.
Did anybody else have a crush on the fox, or was I the only weird one?
He had that cute little smile that he
did for an animated fox.
Yep. And Christina says, "Oh yeah, I finished my book! Yay!
Yay! Celebrate!" Oh, here, we'll have a cat celebration.
Yay!" Kim says, "Y'all have a good night and week, and I'll be at my daddy's this weekend, so I probably won't be at Sprints on Sundays. Well, you have fun at your dad's house.
Hope you have a wonderful time.
And congratulations." And Caden says, 1 for Sarah, 1 for charity, 2 for Sarah, 1 for charity.
That's exactly what's going to end up happening.
And Kat said, "Thanks for the sprints, lady. Have a terrific week ahead, everyone."
You need 100 of these. Where are they all? On the tree.
Can't see the tree for all the cute little sweaters.
That's right, yeah.
And then in between the sweaters will be Santa's pants.
And little hats.
And little hats. And says, "I was reading Gunpowder Green earlier while waiting for an appointment and convinced the receptionist to give the series a try."
Now that's wonderful.
There you go. Then that was like, did they ask you, well, what are you reading? And then it's like, oh, you asked.
Oh, yes. I'm so glad you asked.
And Emily says, "Good night, ladies. Good night." And Christina says, "Thanks for hosting, Stormy and Sarah. Enjoy your evening. You too."
Mm-hmm.
And hi, Paula says, "Just got out of an author event with John Green. Time for some Thai food. Hope you all have a great week, ladies. Hope you do too. And you enjoy your Thai food. That sounds yummy."
Mm-hmm.
Although we have like this little pad Thai place like in the town over, and we have never ate there because we're so used to like, buffet Chinese stuff,
Yes.
And they're like one of those where you actually order something and that's it's not like buffet. And it's like, what if I don't like it?
Well, I had pad Thai for the first time and I was so disappointed because my husband loves it. And for some reason in my brain, it's savory. Like it's a salty, it's sweet. It's that sweet and sour. But wherever I got it from was like a little too sweet, and I just was so disappointed. Yeah. I'm like, this is not what I pictured in my head. You know what I mean?
You get something in there, and it just doesn't go in. Like,
and then Garrett's like, no, you should try a different place. I'm like, well, but now I'm just disappointed. Like now I'm just
because now you're thinking all the Thai food's gonna taste the same, and so then you don't.
Yeah.
And Carmen says third book is Western Storm, so yay! So I get the one done, and then it'll be Western. So
there you go.
And Meg says, "I think in July I want to try to read Jane Austen retelling." Hey, there you go.
Excellent.
I have a hard time with those because I'm like, no, you're messing with the story.
Yeah.
It's like with Jane Eyre, it's like you're messing with the story.
Oh, yeah. How dare you
do it? Because there's like Jane Steele, and then there's all these, and it's like, yeah, I can't do it.
I think The Wife Upstairs by she's like, nope.
I read that one, and like as a retelling, it got 1 star. As a thriller, it got like 3 because I mean it was okay.
Yeah,
but the whole time I'm like, this is not retelling. This is horrible.
It's the same with movies. Like my husband says, like stop remaking stuff. Like just come up with a new idea.
Crazy. Yeah, I mean, it's like people lost their like imagination or whatever. It's like quit changing the story and putting a female where it used to be a male or whatever. Just create a whole new story.
The one that annoyed me, I was watching a couple booktubers over the weekend, and they were talking about that new B.K. Borison book, First Time Caller. Okay. And it's supposed to be like a retelling, if you will, of one of the Meg Ryan movies with Tom Hanks.
Oh, like Seattle. Yeah.
And everybody was talking like, well, she is based on this character, and this is based on this character. So they changed the age of the daughter, and I'm like, but it's not the same. And it was annoying me. Like, stop comparing it. Just read the damn book. You know what I mean? Like that annoys me.
It's like it's not necessarily a retelling anymore because they've changed up so much stuff that you know that it's based on, but it's not
exactly. Yeah.
It's like I like, you know, like Pride, Prejudice, and Zombies. I mean, it's like, well, I might be able to do that one. I don't know. I just think about it as some kind of fun zombie book, but it's not really Pride and Prejudice. It's just a zombie with the people in it or whatever.
Well, like, and then there's some it's kind of fun. Like when I found out later that Clueless was a retelling, like in a way, of Emma by Austen.
Yeah.
It was fun watching the movie and trying to figure out, like, oh, okay, so this character, but that was just fun, you know, like you could kind of see what the director, what they were doing.
Yeah.
But I wasn't going word for word, you know, like.
Anyway. Yeah, I'm not gonna nitpick that this one is that and that one is that, you know.
Exactly.
And Carmen says, I'm in for number 4, Beaumont. Yay. And Jill says, I'm a chocoholic too. Bye, Cat. And Jill says, my favorite Cinderella was the original one that was in black and white.
Oh.
I don't think I've ever seen black and white. My favorite Cinderella is a cartoon, but the one I've watched is colorized. But my favorite, like, I guess you would call it musical, live type one, is the Roger and Hammerstein Cinderella with, was it Leslie Ann Warren, I think, is Cinderella.
Oh, okay.
Minutes ago, I found it.
Yeah, I think that's the one she's talking about.
And everything, but the one I've always seen is like in color. So I mean, but it could have been in black and white.
The Cinderella movie in black and white is the 1957 musical comedy TV movie, which was Kaleidoscope recording broadcast.
Yeah, so I mean, because they colorize a lot of those things sometimes.
Well, they colorize, like Gone with the Wind, I think, was originally in black and white.
Because it's a lot of like stuff is that way. It's like when I watched Andy Griffith and it was colored, and I'm like, no, Andy Griffith's not supposed to be colored. It's black and white.
Some of the black and white stuff
just doesn't look right. Andy don't look right.
It just looks so much better. Like the way it was meant to be seen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's like, no, you can't colorize that. It's not right. And Angel says, good night, everyone, and thanks for the sprints. And Christina says, pause to hydrate, snack, tell us what it is, because we're nosy, check the library or laundry, take meds, stretch. Show some love to the like button and make sure that you sub and ring that bell so that you hopefully get notified. Well, I don't know. I think check the library sounded a lot better than laundry.
I think so too. I'd rather check the library.
And PK says, hello, sorry, I've been doing spring cleaning bit by bit. It started with all the beads I've accumulated. I used to make jewelry. Aha. Okay, yeah, now I'm tuckered. Yeah, spring cleaning can take it out of you. There's so much stuff I look in here and I'm like, you know, I'm one step away from being a hoarder. I really got to do something in my room.
If I showed you the mess in that book room, it's embarrassing because there is no floor space currently.
Well, there's like a reason why you only see like this little section.
Right? Exactly. Yep.
And they're saying hi to PK and hi, Christina. I think we're about to the end of the comments. And Meg says, I read Searching for Captain Wentworth by Jane Dewey.
I think so.
Long before I read Persuasion, and it's actually inspired me to read Persuasion. It's kind of a retelling, yeah.
Oh, cool. Okay.
And a lot of people really like those retellings and things like that. It's just, I'm just not one of those. I like, don't mess with my characters. If I really like the characters, then I'm like, don't mess with my characters.
Yeah. Don't screw. Well, my aunt and I were talking about that on the weekend, that she said, like, she's an avid reader. She doesn't even watch TV, like movies based on a book, because she knows she's going to be disappointed.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And that's like a lot of times now when I'm watching stuff on like Acorn or BritBox or whatever it is, I see it's like, I have to check, was this based on a book series? Like, I can't watch that. I have to read the book series.
Well, that's exactly it.
And this is, I read some of the retellings, and yes, Leslie Ann Warren played Cinderella.
There you go.
and check the library too. And we need to support them. Yes.
Yes, we do.
Cinderella with Leslie Ann Warren was 1965.
Mm-hmm.
And so PK says, I swapped by hoarding beads to yarn. Swapped hoarding beads to yarn. LOL. Also need to unhoard books that I've gotten at library sales for 50 cents over the years and will never read. Yeah, and that's like a lot of the stuff back here on these shelves. I bet I've had some of these books for like 15 years and I've never read them, just sitting there.
Seriously.
And it's like, I really need to make myself either read them or do something with them.
I know.
Don't be that person. You could end up on a hoarder TV show.
But it's not hoarding if it's books.
Yeah. And a lot of it, and that's why I was like, I need more tubs, because some of it is, and this is what I say, like, if you want to start a Pango store or whatever, yeah, it's great. But if you don't sell all of the stuff like right away, you got to have a place to put them. And that's some of my problem too, is I've taken them off the shelves and I've put them on Pango, but they're still here because
they're not out the door yet. Yeah.
You know, so.
Oh, I would go mental on Pango if I could. I was looking at that. I'm like, oh, but it's again, they don't have it here.
You know, and that's just not right.
Because of our shipping.
Yeah. Well, you know, Canada should start their own like kind of Pango thing or whatever. I mean, there should be where you just it's inside of Canada. I'm sure
but it's still ridiculous for shipping.
Is it really?
Yes, it is.
Inside? Is it because it's so big and like all the
no? Because Canada Post just sucks.
Or just it just sucks. Okay.
It just sucks. Like it's like I'm not exaggerating to you. I sent something to a friend out west. I think it was like a couple books. It was like $8 or $9 to mail it. It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
I had friends of mine after my dad passed away. My group of friends in the U.S., my knitting friends, put this box together of stuff. I mean, it was a bigger box, and it was like yarn, but it wasn't anything super. It was $72 to ship it to Canada.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and I guarantee you, the stuff inside was not worth that.
Yeah. Yeah, because like I looked, I like asked our post like how much it cost to like ship to like Scotland and things like that, and they're like $40. I was like $40.
I will fly
it's
it there
just a book, you know. It's like it's just a book.
Yeah.
$40.
I will fly it there. I will take the Titanic across the ocean.
Yeah, it's like I'll just hoard those over in the corner, and then one day, whenever I get to go.
That's right. Exactly. That'll be cheaper.
Yeah.
That's what I've said. Like, if I'm going to send stuff to you guys, I would much rather wait until I come over to the U.S. and then go to just a post office and just mail the stuff. You know?
Do you see that? That's crazy.
Yep.
She shipped
Canada Post. See this, but this is why our healthcare is free. Canada Post.
We got cheaper post, but we have to pay for our. Yeah, you know, it's like one of those things. It's like, you know, we need to all get together and like one person do it, and everybody collaborate and give like shipping. You know, because they've got like those little apps where, you know, people can give money, and then one person ships a bunch of books to Sarah because we have to get it all together. And like, you know,
well, what I need to do is get it shipped to Lee, have you guys, and then I'll just go visit Lee because I think she's the closest person to me over the border, or Sonia, one or the other.
Yeah.
Have it shipped to some random McDonald's in upstate Buffalo, or to Esther in upstate New York.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and GoFundMe to ship to Canada. Yeah,
seriously.
Like, I want to ship stuff to my friend.
But that's why, like, when I sent you that book, I did it directly through.
Yeah.
Because it was just easier. It was just like, I was like, oh my God, it cost $1 to ship it. This is ridiculous. I jokingly said that to my husband. I said, if we're going to become the 51st state, I said, I want to keep our health care, but I want the shipping. I want media mail.
Yeah, the media mail is
that
a good
would be
thing,
me with my little protest sign with my demand.
Oh, okay. So we're at the end of the comments. Do you have anything coming out like video?
Tomorrow will be my weekly wrap up, and then my TBR will be out later in the week.
Cool. Border crossing in the middle of the night, just bring packages.
No, officer. I don't want to cross over. Can you just pass this to this person?
Yeah, it's like they're like, what is your reason for crossing? And it's like, I don't want to. I'm just here to try to push this over.
Well, I know we're going, but really quickly, I had a friend in the States, and when I used to go down there, she would have me go to the pharmacy and buy Tylenol with codeine, because you can get it over the counter here. You do not need a prescription to buy Tylenol with codeine, Tylenol ones. So I would buy like the biggest bottle I could get, and I would put it in my suitcase, and I would go over the border and I'd give it to her, which I'm pretty sure is illegal.
There you go.
Throw a package across the line.
Well, I have my April pile of possibilities coming out, and then I also have like some April new releases that I done.
Oh, yay!
So that one I still have to edit, but the pile of possibilities I have edited.
I am catching up because I'm finally into my...
I know, I saw that. I was like, good night, everyone. Thanks for the sprint. It was fun. And with that, we shall say goodbye. Thanks for joining me, Sarah, and everybody in the chat. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And
have a great night, everybody.
Go to bed now.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.